Good day, everyone. Morning, afternoon, night, evening, whatever time of day it is to you. Thank you so much for joining me again on another episode of Candidly. I am your hostess, Lisa, Lise, whatever you want to call me. Just be nice, be respectful, and I'll be respectful to you. So, as you can see, I came with nuts, came naked, and I was trying to decide. I was like, do I want to go on naked because I actually have my lashes here, got my glue here, and I was gonna do my lashes and everything. And I was like, Lisa, no, because today I'm actually talking about beauty. When I was growing up, first of all, let me preface this by saying I don't own the rights to any music you may hear or any songs I might belt out as I'm talking. I have my music playing in the background. I don't know if you can hear it because I have a really good noise canceling microphone. So you may or may not hear the music in the background, but you might hear me sing a little tune or two. Like right now, Ribbon in the Sky by Intro is playing. I know Stevie singing first, and I love his version as well. But right now, Intro is singing Ribbon in the Sky. And you anyway, so I just wanted to throw that out there. I don't own the rights to any music that you might hear or any, verses that I might sing during this broadcast message. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, I was trying to determine if I wanted to go naked here. As you can see, I took my braids out. I haven't dyed my hair again. It actually grew quite a bit, so I'm really excited about that. But I'm gonna wash it, do a nice deep conditioner. But I wanted to come on here and like really talk about beauty because the ideal of beauty, I think, is warped these days. My grandmother, when I was growing up, she always said, beauty is only skin deep, but ugly is to the bone. And that was one of the things she said a lot. And I never really understood what that meant, and I had people in my family who told me I was ugly, so I thought I had ugly bones. I thought I was ugly, you know. I didn't see surface beauty, because these family members who were, adults, told me that I was not pretty. I wasn't going to be pretty. I wasn't going to be loved when I got older. No one was going to love me. I was never going to get married. All of these things, these people would say to me, I believed that inside I was ugly to the bone, and I never really understood what being ugly to the bone meant. It has nothing to do with your aesthetics. It has everything to do with your morals, with your moral compass, with your characteristics, with, how well you play with others authentically. It has everything to do with your authenticity and being the best version of you, despite what life may be handing you at the moment. We all have a hand to play, right? That life has dealt us. Some hands are harder to win than others. And you got to work with what you have. Sometimes you can, pick a card and throw a card out and, you know, make for a better hand to play. I digress. I'm getting off topic and I don't know enough about cards to make the true correlation. So I'm gonna stop while I'm ahead. I actually have a story about this cup, a spiritual story, but I'll keep that for another another time. So again, I don't own the rights to any music that you might hear me belt out. I almost started singing, so felt like I needed to say that again. Anyway, but the notion that beauty is only skin deep and ugly is to the bone is very real. And I implore everyone to teach that concept to your kids because there are a lot of ugly people in this world. There are a lot of morally corrupt people in this world, and it's terrible. It's disheartening. It's sad. It's like, is this the way the world is now? Is this who we are as a people now? Is this how we are as a people now? You know, back in the days. Well, let's start here, right? I decided not to wear any makeup. I don't have any makeup on, right? I just got out the shower. I have my homemade body oil that I made, right? Uh, I have Vaseline on my lips. I'm not wearing no lashes, so you can see my short lashes. Kind of looks like I don't have any lashes at all, but I do, a little bit. My eyebrows really don't grow in that much. You know what I mean? So I'm completely barefaced, and this is me at 47, you know, and I look in the mirror now and I love who's looking back at me. I appreciate the woman that I see, you know, and it wasn't always like that. It's something that I had to grow into. It was something that I had to teach myself. I had to learn how to believe in myself. I had to learn how to love myself, externally and internally. I used to always be like, I'm such a good person. I'm such a good person. And I don't understand this and I don't understand that. And I mean, the truth remains, I am still a good person. You know what I mean? However, I also have to remind myself that everyone is not me. Everyone is not me, and everyone isn't going to have the same moral compass that I have. Everyone isn't going to have the same beliefs that I have. Everyone isn't going to walk the path that I walk, and that's okay. And I have to be okay with that. You know what I mean? And I am. It took me a very long time to get there though, because I feel like, you know, the Bible says, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And I live by that, even though I'm not a Christian anymore. You know what I mean? I still live by the notion, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. I'm not going to deliberately go out of my way to hurt anyone. I'm not going to deliberately go out of my way to be mean or disrespectful to anyone. None of those things. You know, I truly treat people the way I want them to treat me. I love people the way I want to be loved. I mean, unless they tell me, you know, a way that they want to be loved, and I can show up for them in that way. You know what I mean? You have a lot of, I'm going to say men specifically, because this ties into what I'm about to say. I've seen recently, and also not so recently, men will say, oh, we're all the natural women out. Here's what I can tell you before I even get into that. When I'm natural like this, I get overlooked. Nobody sees me. Nobody sees me. No one says anything to me. When I have my hair in my twists, or when I'm wearing my afro or anything like that, radio silence. Radio silence. When my hair is braided, I get some toss. I get some traction. When I do my curly Sue, I have the long, curly, flowing hair or the waves and stuff like that. Then, oh, 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 and they're fawning over me and falling over me, and they want to be in my skin. So I struggle with believing that men want a woman who is natural, and even that would affect me mentally, because I'm like, well, am I not naturally pretty? Am I not naturally beautiful? Beautiful? I never just stay. And I had to realize that I didn't need other people's validation. I needed to validate myself. I needed to look in the mirror and love what I saw in the mirror. I needed to look in the mirror and be comfortable in my own skin. That, what do you call those turkey arms? All of that. I had to learn to love every version of me, every part of me. You know, if last year, if I had done, how they have that challenge where it's like, oh, born and they have the filter on that makes them look incredibly old, right? And it's like, oh, born in 1978, and then they take the filter off and say, oh, this is what, 40, in this case, 47 looks like. Had I done that challenge last year, I would have looked every bit of 47, if not older, or 45 or whatever. I looked in the mirror and, my pores were opening. You know how older people, especially when you're not taking care of your skin, when you're stressed out and all of that stuff, your face is affected, you know, and I hated what I saw when I looked in the mirror. I still knew inside that I was beautiful though. But on the outside, babe, gee. And I tried to hold on to that notion, Lisa, beauty is only skin deep. But people, a lot of people, unfortunately, don't appreciate that skin deep beauty because they're so busy focused on the aesthetic beauty. They're so focused on what they see, and not what they see. You know, a lot of men and women. I'm guilty too. I'm not gonna lie. Okay. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, I I have dated men who I didn't find attractive, who I felt were of good moral character. And for one reason or another, it didn't work out. You know, there are various reasons. Sometimes they were a good guy, just weren't the guy for me. And sometimes they were pretending to be the good guy and obviously weren't the guy for me. You know what I mean? But I know that, especially it seems nowadays, if we were a color, we'd be a TikTok. I love India Ari. We were a color. Anyway, especially nowadays, it seems like more and more men want to be the woman in the relationship. They want to be the one being chased. They want to be the prize, And here's the crazy thing about that, right? It's okay to believe you're the prize and to carry yourself as such. It's not okay to mistreat other people. If you are telling a woman that you're the prize, if a man tells me he's the prize, I'm already done with him. I'm good because that tells me you're gonna treat me like shit. How do I know that? Lisa, how do you know that? Why would you say that? Every man isn't like that. You're right. Every man probably isn't like that. Every man who thinks he's the prize may not be like that. However, the men that I've dated who thought they were the prize treated me like absolute shit. So I, you know, deductive reasoning. Why would I try to find the one in a million who isn't like that? If I know that the majority of the ones that I've dated, maybe not all of, right? The majority of the ones that I've dated who thought they were the prize were not good people at heart. To me, but you were a building, you'd be a beautiful cathedral, 'cause it's so. Brownie points if you're a man who listens to India Ari. Love her. But so any man who tells me that he's the prize, automatically, I'm completely disinterested. I have no desire to be in your presence. I have no desire to get to know you. I have no desire to learn anything about you. I have no desire to go on a date with you. I have no desire to spend time with you, to talk to you, to get to know you in any way, shape, form, or fashion, because I know 9 out of 10 times you're gonna be a piece of shit. What a lot of these dudes don't realize though, and where they fall short and where they do themselves a disservice is that a woman who is treated well, a woman who is provided for, a woman who is taken care of in the way that she needs to be taken care of, that she desires to be taken care of, that she feels her man should take care of her, because every woman has different ideals on how she wants her man to treat her or be with her or love on her, right? A woman that feels truly loved and honored by her man will treat him like the prize. She will. She will cater to him. She will submit to him. She will be everything to him that he is to her. He will be the prize in her eyes, and she will treat him and honor him with care, with respect, with love, She will make sure that he wants for nothing. He doesn't have to ask for sex. He doesn't have to ask for her to cook him a meal. If he came in at 3 in the morning and said, "Hey, babe, I'm hungry. Can you make me a sandwich?" She would get up willingly. No huffing, no puffing, none of those things. She's going to get up because she knows this man loves her and he's going to take care of her because that's what he does. Not because he feels like he has to do it, but because it's in him to do it, because he wants to, because it brings him joy to put a smile on her face. And the fact that his joy puts a smile on her face, the smile on her face is going to make her want to make him proud. It's going to make her want to put a smile on his face. See how it's reciprocal? You know, you smile, I smile, we smile. You know? So a lot of men who have these toxic relationships with women oftentimes, and I won't say always because there's some toxic, narcissistic, ugly ass women out there. However, a lot of these men create toxic environments and then complain about the environments that they created. And that's the crazy thing, you know, because you create these situations that are not really conducive to the life you desire to have, to the lifestyle you desire to have. And then you complain about the conditions that you created. You know, you treat your lady in a very disdainful way because you expect her to treat you like the prize. You expect her to show you a certain level of respect that you're not even giving to her. And because you're not giving it to her, you're also not giving it to yourself, because if you respected yourself, you will respect her. And if you respected yourself and you were with a woman, let's say you're not the man who creates those toxic environments, right? But if you're with a woman who doesn't respect you, by respecting yourself, you see her to the door, right? Because she won't value you. But any man who doesn't value his woman, that doesn't make you the prize. That doesn't make you worthy of praise. It doesn't make you worthy of submission. It doesn't make you worthy of that woman, or really any woman, you know? It's really unfortunate, you know, when men run with that narrative that, you know, he's the prize and, you know, he's all of these things, and, you know, women should bow down because without a man, a woman can't make baby. Well, without a woman, you can't make a baby either, stupid. See how we need each other? See how one and two, or one and one make two, or one and two make three, baby? You know, it's not a hard concept. Treat your lady. If you want to be the prize, treat your woman how you want to be treated. Try it. Treat her how you desire to be treated. Give her the love that you desire to receive. And see how she loves you back. See how she loves on you. You know, do things for her just because. And I guarantee you that soft life that you desire, because I feel like nowadays a lot of men just are feeling like they want and deserve to have that soft life, but that soft life you desire, she'll give it to you. That doesn't mean that you'll be a house husband. That doesn't mean soft life for a man and soft life for a woman are totally different if we're going by traditional roles. So let's be clear on that. Okay. I want to make sure that I make that clear, right? when I say soft life for you, she will create an environment that is peaceful for you. She will create a life for you that is comfortable. She'll create a space that is safe for you to just to be at peace, to, you know, have your moments. Because we all have our moments where it's just like, you know, but she'll create a space where it's safe for you to express yourself without ridicule. She'll create a space. She'll create a home for you. But if you are expecting her to be half man, half woman, 50-50, right? It's going to be difficult for her to sit in that femininity and be for you what you need her to be. If you're going to treat her roughly, you can't expect her to then be soft and gentle with you because everybody has a breaking point, right? You keep on toughening something, hurting something, creating an environment that is unsafe. That person now is forced to protect themselves in some way, you know? I think men need to get off the notion of that surface beauty for themselves and for the women that they date. You know, I'm not gonna lie. There's nothing wrong with wanting to have an aesthetically pleasing person on your arm because I'm the same way. Like I said, I want a man who, if I'm walking down the street, I want to feel, like I'm proud of this man that I'm walking with. I'm looking at him. I'm like, oh, I'm like, this thanks to you tonight, sir. I want to be proud of who is on my arm or whose arm I'm on. And I want him to be proud of the woman that is on his arm as well. I want him to see me as the prize. Why not? I am. I'm dope as hell. What? Am I rough around the edges? Some would say. Some guys said that, I'm kind of like a homegirl. And the funny thing is, I used to be so prim and proper. I used to be all buttoned up and corporate and, very stush, if you will. One day I just stopped caring. I just stopped caring. I stopped caring about speaking properly all the time. I stopped caring about, how I would be perceived. And I started to ask myself, what brings me joy? You know, if I'm not at work, then I don't have to speak a certain way. If I'm not dealing with clients, then I don't have to be or speak a certain way. I don't have to be dressed up all the time. And no shade to the women who do that. I used to be that woman. There was a time when I didn't own a pair of sneakers. All I owned was heels. There was a time that I didn't wear flats. Now I can only wear flats, until I have the surgery that I need to have. So I don't knock any woman. I miss wearing my heels. I'm not gonna lie. But, I don't have to wear heels in order to be the amazing me that I am. I don't have to wear heels to be beautiful. I don't have to wear heels to accentuate my legs because I have sexy legs no matter what. I don't have to wear heels to poke my ass out because I got a nice little round brown as it is. You know what I mean? I don't have to put myself out there in front of men who aren't going to respect me. When you wake up in the morning, this is what you're going to see. My eyes might be a little bit puffier depending on how heavy I slept, but for the most part, this is what you're going to see. No makeup, no lashes, unless I slept in my lashes. I saw him. I tell myself immediately intrigued about him. It's almost like I knew this man from another life. I thought that maybe I was his husband, maybe he was my wife. The things I don't like about him are fine with me. 'Cause it's not hard for me to understand him because he's so much like me. And it's truly just to share his company. And I know that it's God's gift to breathe the air I breathe. I love India Ari. She's so dope. I met her once. And when I tell you, shit, I was choking my spit. When I tell you the beauty in her music is the beauty that she is as a person, 1,000,000%. Her energy is light. She has a song called I Am Light, and she is light. She is such a beautiful person. She is beautiful inside and out. She is the epitome of her beauty being more than skin deep. Her beauty is to the bone. And I love that, And, it's why I listen to artists like her, Jill Scott. It's why I listen to artists like her, Erica Badu. You know what I mean? And those aren't the only artists I listen to. Obviously, I listen to Mary and, you know, Whitney, etc., Adele. Um, but I think on some level, I was probably introduced to spirituality through India Ari, just listening to her music, not really understanding it at that time. But now that I am in a more spiritual essence, a more spiritual realm, if you will, a higher spiritual vibration, I understand a lot of the things that I didn't quite correlate, then. That a woman can love a man from personal to universal, but most of all, it's unconditional. But, a lot of men try to disparage women who they think look plain, but then turn around and say they want a natural woman. So which one is it? If you want a natural woman, go for natural women, but don't try to disparage those women for being natural. You know, if you want a woman who is IG baddie, go for those women, but don't try to disparage those women who wear lashes and wigs and all of these things, BBLs or whatever the case may be. If you don't like a woman who wears a BBL, then don't go for a woman who has a BBL. If you don't like a woman who wears wigs, then don't date a woman who has wigs. Why are you getting with these women who you're now trying to change? For what? And what does that have to do with inside of her? You know, you like what you like. So go for what you like and stop focusing on the women who aren't what you desire. Beauty truly is only skin deep. And it doesn't matter how good you look on the outside. If your inside is rotten, I won't say spoiled because spoiled is not bad, despite popular belief. Spoiled is not always bad. Spoiled rotten is what's bad. To give you all the love you need. Baby, I know you deserve the best. And I can't keep treating you like I do the rest. So, baby, I'm ready. Fellas, those of you who believe you're the pride, try an experiment. Treat that woman how you desire to be treated. Treat that woman as the prize you believe you are. And see if she doesn't treat you as the prize that you believe you are. Try it. I am 95% sure that I'm right. But you also have to learn discernment. Stop going for the woman who's just aesthetically pleasing to you. Actually, give yourself time to get to know that woman. Give yourself an opportunity to see if her heart and her beauty are one and the same. Does her heart show in her beauty? Because if she has a dark heart, it doesn't matter how beautiful she is. It doesn't matter how pretty she is. None of those things matter. None of them. I've seen some beautiful women, and they treat their men like trash. However, I will also say that I've seen a lot of men who say, I love that toxic shit. What? Until she takes everything from you, then it's, oh, women this and women that. And but the amount of men that I see, and it drives me insane. And I say, Lisa, that's why you're single. Because so many men love that toxic shit. And I'm not toxic. I'm not. And I pride myself on my peace. I pride myself on not being toxic. And when you come and you interrupt my peace, you gotta go. Gotta go, gotta go, gotta go, 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 gotta go right now. Because my peace is of optimal importance to me. So if you're coming to interrupt that, I just physically can't receive you. Can't, because you're gonna try to destroy me. And oh, mm-mm. I've had a couple of men try that, and it almost worked both times, both men. It almost worked. But my ancestors said, hell no. They said, homie gotta go. We don't play that. So it's gonna hurt, but he gotta go. And they got rid of him. Some way, somehow. One way or another. I mean, none of them died. Maybe they should have. All right, Lisa, that's maybe not a nice thing to say. Whatever. But they tried to kill me inside. They tried to take the light from me, you know? Beauty is only skin deep, but ugly is to the bone. Stop thinking that just because you take a woman to the pool and her makeup washes off, that makes her any less attractive if you haven't taken the time to truly get to know her. Now, if her being aesthetically pleasing is all that matters to you, then go off. Go off. And if that's the case, if you feel like you got to take a woman to the pool to date her, why are you dating her anyway? Why not just go for the woman who you consider to be naturally pretty? Hmm? How these women be tricking you, and she's wearing makeup. First of all, she's not trying to trick you. She's wearing makeup because she likes the way it looks. Now, don't get me wrong. I have seen some amazing transitions happen with makeup. And I'm like, so I get it. However, if you're dating a woman who wears makeup, there's a possibility that she doesn't necessarily look the same without the makeup. You know, y'all try to say that Cardi B is ugly without her makeup. She's not. She's actually gorgeous. I think she looks better without makeup. But hey, oh my, she's not my type. You know, I like things that dangle. She doesn't dangle. But anyway, I digress. You know, y'all have this picture of beauty that you push onto women, and then when those pictures of beauty are seen natural, you ridicule them. Same with Beyonce. Oh, she does all of this and all of that, but then when she takes her makeup off, oh, she's not that attractive. She's not that pretty. If she weren't wearing that makeup, that she what? She's naturally pretty. Kelly is naturally pretty. You know, a lot of these women are naturally pretty, and you see them on their off day, meaning they're off from work, right? They don't have to play for the cameras. They don't have to put on for the cameras. You know, they're with their children, their family, they're having vacation or whatever the case. They don't have to be dressed to the nines every single hour of the day. Now, what are we gonna do? You know, if you are only looking at a woman's beauty and determining whether or not she's valuable to you or she's worthy of you, you already lost. And you're about to get got. And I'm gonna laugh at you. Because you're a piece of shit. Because you're basing a woman's worth on the level of beauty that she has on the outside. Not knowing that a lot of women who know they're pretty, like I said, I didn't know I was pretty. I didn't know, and still don't know how to use my beauty as that allurance, to get whatever I want from men. I've seen much less aesthetically pleasing women do some things. Those women who know that they're pretty, they have a different level of confidence and a different level of expectation. And some of you motherfuckers will go broke just to have that pretty girl on your arm. And she don't give a fig about you. She could care less about you. But because she aesthetically, to the masses, it looks good. You wife her. And there's nothing wrong with that if that's what she wants. But is that what she truly wants? Or is there something deeper? Is there something more? You know? I don't know. I don't know. If you saw her without makeup, would you still find her attractive? You know? It's nothing wrong with a man who likes a woman who wears makeup and wigs. But if you're a man who is going to ridicule her for wearing makeup and wigs, are you with her? Make it make sense. If you're going to ridicule her because she had work done, why are you with her? And it kills me even more, the men who will get with these women. And then when it's over and all is said and done, now they want to disparage her and have all of these negative things to say about her. But when you were, I won't say deep inside because I don't know. I don't know if you can go deep inside, right? But when you were enjoying her orifices, that wasn't an issue, right? You were probably singing her praises and happy to have her on your arm. But as soon as it didn't work out, now you have all of these disparaging things to say about her wearing makeup or wearing eyelashes or wearing wigs or having a BBL or getting her body done, a mommy makeover, whatever the case is. I believe that most of the men who are that pressed about a woman's external beauty are Echo, stop. I believe men who are more focused on a woman's external beauty are the more insecure men. They're more insecure than any other man that you would probably meet. And I strongly believe that because the way these men disparage women, the way their inferiority showed is incredible. It's sad. It's incredible.
Sean tried to kill me.
What did she do?
She just tried to kill me.
Okay, I'm actually recording.
Oh, sorry guys. I need to take a shower.
You should. I highly recommend it. Hi, Sean. How are you doing? What did you do to my child?
She threw a phone at my forehead.
Why would you do that?
On my bed. Because he was sitting in the corner, I just threw it. Just let it on my bed. He was right there.
You tried to kill my son.
Yeah. She threw her phone at my
Wow.
forehead.
I thought you left him though.
Who died?
That's what I thought too.
All right, y'all can leave now.
Get my stuff so I could freaking take my shower.
Sure.
I'm just something else, but
Thank you.
Like that.
Thank you. Oh my God.
Where's that? Where's that bag?
You're a
Right
hater.
here. You see how she wanted me so bad?
Bye bye. Anyway, all my children, my babies, I love them. Stop focusing on the external beauty of a person and women too, right? Because I focus mainly on men because I date men, right? And men are usually the ones who are saying the most disparaging things about women and their natural beauty or lack thereof. Okay. So I deliberately chose to come on here. So y'all can't be like, oh, she up here talking about natural beauty, but she got fake hair. Nope, this is my hair. She got on fake eyelashes. Nope, these are my eyelashes. Oh, she got makeup on, foundation. I have nothing on except oil. That is oil that I created with a little castor oil, some cucumber oil, and some other things that I put in there to, look good on my face. You know what I mean? So this is me, all natural. Yep. You see my lips are kind of dark because I smoke weed. I don't smoke that much though. I don't smoke as much as I did when I was in that toxic relationship. I smoked an eighth a day. Now I smoke much, much less than that. You know what I'm saying? But allow yourself to actually get to know the beauty of that person outside of what you might find to be aesthetically appealing. You might find that aesthetically they're great, but characteristically, morally, not so much. Or you might find that the beauty on the outside matches the beauty on the inside. And so now you got the best of both worlds. Conversely, you might find that someone who's not as aesthetically pleasing on the outside is the most beautiful person on the inside. And because of that internal beauty, it exudes and overshadows the lack of aesthetics that you would normally go for. Because they say at the end of the day, beauty fades no matter what. As we get older, beauty is going to fade. I am grateful that I think I look good for 47. I think I look good for 47. This is not a filter. The only thing in the filter is the background. That's it. And I think I look pretty darn good, for 47, and having experienced a lot of things that almost broke me, some that tried to kill me, literally, sometimes spiritually, or I should say spiritually and sometimes literally. Because I had a couple of motherfuckers, I'm gonna kill myself and I'm gonna kill you too. Anyway, glad that didn't happen. But to have experienced life, to have experienced disappointments in life, and to still smile, to still be able to look in the mirror and love what I see when I look in the mirror, to still love the heart, to still have an unchanged heart. Now, I wouldn't say I'm 100% unchanged, right? Because obviously, like I've told you guys before, I do have trust issues, you know, but at my core, the love that I have inside, the peace that I have inside, the purity that I have inside is genuine. I am probably one of the most authentic people you'll ever meet. I think maybe people will say otherwise. Who knows? It's possible. I'm not perfect. I never purported myself to be perfect. But, get to know that woman, get to know that man, and find out if they are who you truly desire. Like the set says, you're what desire. You lie, 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 worth every tear you take me. Ah, ah. Anyway, that's my time. Beauty is only skin deep, but ugly. It's to the balls. Thank you for tuning in again. I'm so grateful to have you guys here. And I look forward to more conversations. I have a lot to talk about. So stay tuned, you know. I think I'm back for good this time. Prepare to be sick of me. But prepare to fall in love with me too. Ciao. From Candidly, from my home to yours. Smooch. Stop ever.